Over the last couple of years, Wagtail CMS has become very popular and gained a lot of traction. So in this video, let's go over actually setting it up and getting your first page on the site. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install Wagtail. It's actually very simple. We just do a pip install of Wagtail and it does all the install. The next thing we do is we do something similar to the Django admin and we create a new Wagtail app using the Wagtail command with start and then the name of our project. In this case, it'll be Wagtail Start Demo. After that, we'll simply cd into our project and install all of our requirements because it has a base set of requirements that is set for you whenever you do your install. As you can see, they're already installed, so that's something we can move on with. Wagtail also sets up your settings for your Django project because it sets up a skeleton Django project for you. And in this case, if we look at our demo folder, which is our project name, and we have a settings folder, and inside of there we have a base, a dev, and a production file. And this is what you use to set your specific settings for your different environments. Right now, dev and production don't have much of anything in them, so we're not going to look at those. But if we open up our base, you can see it's a fairly standard settings file. If you'll scroll down through, you'll see we have our project directory and base dir. This is to set up root directories for whenever you need to get something specific out. If you look at our installed apps, we have our home and search, which are Django-ish apps that are in your project currently. And then you have a bunch of Wagtail ones, followed by some third-party, and then finally Django standard contrib applications. The next thing we have is our middleware, and it's our standard middleware that you have with Django. And then we have 2 Wagtail middlewares in there as well. And then the rest is fairly common. And when you get down to the templates section, you can see the dirs is already filled out with the templates like you would normally do in a standard application. And then finally, looking through the rest of our settings, it's all just very standard. And fortunately, the static files and the media files are set for you. Also, if you'll notice, the static file finders has compressor in there, and that's something for a different video. We're not going to cover that in these Wagtail videos, but it's there for you to be able to do Django compressor stuff. So with it installed and we have some of our basic setup, the next thing we need to do is we need to run a migration. So we just do manage py migrate, and it's going to run all of our migrations for our initial Wagtail setup. And note, there's a lot there because it's a CMS and it brings a lot to the table for you. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create our super user, and this is standard Django stuff. And now that we have our basic setup, let's actually get into doing something with Wagtail. First, if you'll look at the root of our project, you'll see we have our db.sqlite3 for our database. We have demo, we have our home app and search app, and we also have our manage py and requirements.txt. So it's a very standard Django application with some opinionation built in. If we'll go ahead and look in our home app, you'll see that we have migrations, models, and templates. And note, there isn't a views.py. If we'll go ahead and open up the models file, you see we have class homepage and it inherits from page. But aren't we in the models? Yes. So Wagtail runs conventionally a little bit different than we're used to with Django, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. Instead of having a view for every page, most every page that you're going to have is going to inherit from page, and it's going to be a model in the database and allow Wagtail to actually handle the routing and information for you. The page basically covers the title that you're going to have of your page, and it covers the slug. And the slug of the page is what's going to be used for the URL. So it handles some of your base routing for you, and you don't have to worry about it at all. Since pages are models instead of views, then everything is going to be contained in the model, and it's going to kind of just work. In a future video, we'll go over actually looking at doing more specific things to get more specific information out into our templates. But for now, we'll just look at a very basic example of a home page just to get something there. So with our homepage page, it's inheriting from a Wagtail page, we're going to go ahead and add a summary. It's going to be a character field. And we're also going to add a body, and it's going to be a rich text field that is a field that's built into Wagtail. We're also going to have a content panels section, and it's going to inherit from the page.content panels. And we're just going to add to it field panels for our summary and our body. The quick and dirty of what this is doing is it's added, this is for the administration side, so it knows to display an admin part for the summary and the body field of this model for this page. We're also going to do our imports of our rich text field and also our Wagtail edit handlers. It's important to actually make sure you include the edit handlers if you use the content panels, because this file, when you do an import of it, dynamically adds the content panels to the page model. So if you don't inherit from this and you have content panels, it's going to error. It took me a while to figure that one out. So we want to go back to summary and go ahead and set the default. And then we jump back out to command line. We can do our make migrations and then just simply do a migrate. And now it has added our migrations from the home. If you'll see applying home 003 auto and then it means it's created the homepage model for our page. So with that, the next thing that we need to do is we have our home page. Now we need to go ahead and edit our template to display the data from the models that we just created. So if we'll open up our home templates, home underscore page.html, this is the template where we edit what we need. What's happening is it's looking for the name of our class, and wherever there were capital letters, it's lowercasing them and injecting an underscore into them. So if you have home page, it's home underscore page. If you had content page, it would be content underscore page. And so it's kind of conventional on what to create a home page for. By default, the home page actually exists, so we're just going to edit it, and we're just going to delete everything in content. We're going to add our h2, and we're just going to say it's content. We're going to add our page.body, and we're going to do our rich text. Notice we have our body, and we're saying, hey, this is a rich text field, so that it actually displays any type of HTML that we use with our rich text field. We're going to say this is a tweet, and we're going to put the summary of the page. And in order to use the rich text filter, we need to go ahead and load the Wagtail core tags. So with that, that's all the programming that we need to do in order to get our page to show up. The summary of the programming that we've done so far is we've created a new Wagtail project, or we've edited a model, the homepage model, with fields that we want to display on the site. And then we've gone in and edited the appropriate template for that so that we can display those fields that we added to our model. Now if we'll open it up in our browser and we'll go to /admin, you'll see that it takes us to a Wagtail admin and not a Django admin. The Django admin is still there, it's just on /Django admin instead of admin. Wagtail has a really nice admin interface so that you can get things done in an easy way. So if we'll go ahead and log in with the super user we created earlier, you can see we have a nice little dashboard that shows us the number of pages, images, and documents that we have. In this case, we just have the home page, and so we only have one page. On the side, we have Explorer, Images, Documents, and Settings. For now, let's just go ahead and go to the Explorer, and you'll see we have home page as a category that we can do. If we click on the home page, you'll see this is a listing for what all the subpages of the home page are going to be. In this case, we don't have any. We just want to edit the home page, so we'll just go ahead and hit edit, and this will edit the root of the home page section, which is what we're editing now. So here we have our title, which is already filled out, but we have our summary that we added just a second ago. And we also have our body, which we added a little bit ago. So I'll just add some content here. And then if we'll also add some more content and do bold, we can see that the rich text field actually works. And we have our rich text with our rich text editor. Finally, since we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and publish. So we go to the menu to the bottom and we have unpublish, delete, publish, and submit for moderation. In our case, we're just going to go ahead and publish it so that we can see it. And when we hit publish, it redirects us to the root of homepage, and we have our homepage. If we want to look at it on the site, we just hit the live button and it goes to the homepage of our site. And there we have the content that we just added to the database. And even note the for now and forever is bolded that we bolded in our rich text field. And that's it. That's what it takes to get something basic with Wagtail up and running. It's super simple. But I'll warn you, in learning Wagtail, it takes a little bit of a change in how you think about using Django. I don't necessarily know if it's good or bad. It's just different. With that said, please join us next time for a little bit more of a dive into Wagtail when we go a little bit beyond just adding a page to the site. Thank you and have a great day.